AngeloLive.com, I'm James Bellini. On today's show, we discuss the Texas power grid is holding up in the sweltering summer heat, plus a new solar farm is coming to Tom Green County. But first, a San Angelo woman was sentenced to prison on Wednesday afternoon for her role in the Duckworth Road murder. According to court documents on June 15th, 37-year-old Angela Ray was sentenced to 10 years in prison for engaging in organized criminal activity. Ray and her four co-defendants, Dave Navarro, along with Kristen, Gary, and Stephen Jennings, killed Eric Torres. In the indictment, Ray was also charged with aggravated kidnapping. In a plea agreement with the district attorney's office, the two parties agreed to drop the first count if she testified against her partners in crime. More details can be found on our website. Earlier in the week, San Angelo Live reported that Tom Green County commissioners had approved a tax abatement agreement for a solar farm in northwest Tom Green County. Commissioners on Tuesday approved the $332 million deal after taking public comment. San Angelo Live's Yantis Green caught up with County Judge Steve Floyd at the Pachyderm luncheon on Wednesday. When asked about the new solar farm, he had this to say.
We came up with a system where it's $1 amount per nameplate megawatt. And so that fee goes up the 4th through the 7th year, and then the 8th through the 10th year. It ratchets up again. It goes from about $1,300 to nearly $1,600. But it's about 4 point. Between those, that one farm, it's better, about 4.5 million in revenue during that 10 years.
For the entire interview, check it out only on SanAngeloLive.com. Also in news today, the Federal Reserve made history by increasing the prime interest rate by 0.75%. The stock market liked it today, and will change, and the change will have a major effect on the San Angelo housing market. Stay tuned. Later in the show, Ryan Newland and Joe Hyde will discuss the impact of that rate hike and the housing market in San Angelo. This summer so far has been one of the hottest the state has seen in some time. With nearly a month straight of 100-degree days, the question of whether the power grid would hold up has been argued by politicians on both sides. Gubernatorial candidate Beto O'Rourke was in Abilene last week and told his followers how bad the grid was. Let's listen.
We do not have the capacity in the state of Texas to meet the demands that we have. They asked all of us to set our thermostats at 78 degrees. And I want to thank whoever set the thermostat here, because it feels like about 78 degrees right now. This is what that feels like. Now, if everything were okay with the grid, why would your government be asking you to set your thermostat to 78 degrees here in the state of Texas when it's 103 degrees outside? The question was, what are we going to do to fix this? Okay, we weatherize and winterize every part of the grid, including the gas supply. Number two, we need to connect ERCOT, which is our grid, with the national grid so that we can draw down power when we need it.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott disagrees with Beto. He claims that the grid is fixed.
Priority that we had this legislative session was to fix the power grid to prevent any other power grid failure in the future. The legislature passed comprehensive reforms to fix all of the flaws that led to the power failure. Bottom line is that everything that needed to be done was done to fix the power grid in Texas.
So far this summer, the grid has outlasted the Texas heat. And finally, Angelo State University on Tuesday afternoon made two major announcements. The first was regarding the auditorium in the administration building. Complete renovations of the auditorium are being donated thanks to an incredible $2.3 million donations from Elta Joyce McAfee. The other announcement was that Angelo State's Mayer Museum has added 7 new exhibits. These exhibits include a variety of small and large prehistoric dinosaur skeleton replicas. And after the break, Ryan Newland with Newland ERA joins the show to talk about the current real estate market in the Concho Valley. We'll be right back.
Since 1994, Angelo Bolt has been the leader in San Angelo and the Concho Valley for industrial fasteners, tools, and supplies. With our extensive inventory, we will most likely have what you need for any commercial or personal job. Our knowledgeable staff has many years of experience to assist you in finding the tool or fasteners you need. At Angelo Bolt, customer service is our top priority. Come see us today at 808 Warehouse Road or call 655-0075.
Power, durability, comfort. This season, you could have it all with a bad boy in your garage.
Every bad boy is built from scratch in the heart of America. Built to outlast the lifetime. Bad boys are fully welded with heavy gauge steel construction, engineered for all-day comfort, powered by high horsepower engines, and deliver the perfect cut. This season is the season for a bad boy.
Mow with an attitude.
Come get your bad boy mower at Henderson Tractor and Implement on Christoval Road.
Well, welcome back. I'm Joe Hyde, San Angelo Live, and today we're going to talk the real estate market in San Angelo, Texas, with one of my good friends and a guy with about 15 years of experience, 18 years of experience. You've been here since 2006. Ryan Newland, the broker for ERA Newland and Company, right there on Avenue N, 1722 Avenue N. See, I remember all these things. That's right.
That's one. We have two locations.
That's right. You have one on College Hills. What's the number on College Hills?
3228.
And how's the road construction?
It's tough.
It's tough.
If you're going towards the lake, you're good. Coming back this way is not so good.
It's really hard to come to work on College Hills because the detour and everything. But anyway, we're going to talk about real estate. And right now we have a lot of uncertainty in the market. We have a lot of people, a lot of buzz going on. So let's just start.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me about yourself first of all, so the audience understands, where you're coming from.
Well, I've been in real estate, selling real estate here since 2006. Got my broker's license in 2013, I think.
And you took over your dad's business.
Took over my dad's business. He retired, and I think he finally left in 2015. So I've been running it since then. Used to just sell houses, so now I'm kind of on the other side of that, and I'm helping the agents get houses sold. So
you have a lot of agents, don't you?
We do. I call it 75. It might be just above or below that, but we've got quite a few agents.
Yeah. So you've seen a lot of the ups and downs. Let's just talk about, since I'm going to say things started getting topsy-turvy, probably when Trump was elected in 2016, when the financial crisis of 08 obviously impacted things.
08, 09, the market went a little bit flat. It didn't go flat like it did in most places in the country. Mm-hmm. So we didn't see a big increase year over year. And then 2010, 2011, it started going again. We had the Klein Shale in 2014.
Remember the Klein Shale thing, they thought that they found some oil just out there.
Well, the oil's still there.
Yeah, but
they just found that it was too tough to get.
It's underneath a lot of mud or something. Big ledge.
I think it's too expensive.
Too expensive to get out. And so we had this boom, like 2014.
We had a boom, and then after that boom, it slowed down again in the 2016, 17. And then, just like always, the market since 06, it has never went down year over year. So,
and we've had some things happen along the way you would think make it go down. I mean,
correct.
We've been through the entire two Obama administrations. We've been through the Trump administration, and now we're in the Biden. So we've had turmoil. We've had local opportunities and stuff. But one of the things that, more locally, when the coronavirus hit in March of 2020. Your average price for a house was about what, 190?
190.
Yeah, and now it's 250, 260.
I think it jumped to 225 that next year, and then 250, and so far this year it's continued to go up.
So it's harder and harder to afford a new house. Obviously, we're hoping that people are making more money, but it's harder and harder to afford. We saw rapid inflation of the housing market during coronavirus when business was shut down. Why is it that the housing market went up so high in those 2 years of coronavirus?
Well, one was the scarcity of housing, but then interest rates, the government did whatever they've got to do to manipulate those interest rates, and the mortgage rates dropped into the 2s and 3s over the last couple of years of what you could get a mortgage for. So that let people's buying power afford, when you might have been able to afford $225, and now, heck, I can do $275 or $325.
Just because your interest payments per month,
the interest rate was lower. So,
right.
and then prices had to go up because there wasn't as many houses on the market. There's more people looking than there was available, and so that demand just let people. There was 8, 9, 10. Or more people bidding on the same house.
So we started already with a kind of a low inventory. And then we threw on top of that the lowered interest rates because they're trying to combat the economic downfall that COVID was going to cause. And then we've seen this explosion of pricing. So now when you have rapid rising in pricing like that, people think, well, we're going to have a calamity and things are going to drop.
I think there's been people waiting for that since 2020, and it just hasn't occurred yet. Right now, we're at a time where, now we have interest rates that are back on the rise, and we've already started to see just in the last month the number of houses for sale go up. So,
Right.
I think the demand is going to turn down a little bit, and so it's going to be interesting to see what happens with prices. Again, they've never went down.
Yeah, historically, after the financial crisis, after Klein Shell, all that kind of stuff, even though Klein Shell increased the prices, they pretty much stayed steady and started climbing again after that.
Yeah,
right?
they stayed steady and then they went up. And you've always been able to pretty much think that my house is going to go at least 3 to 5% in value up from one year to the next. So
Unless it's during coronavirus.
and then in coronavirus, it's going to go up 25 to 50% during a year. So throughout this summer and the rest of the year, we're just going to have to kind of wait and see what the interest rates do. They're around 6 today, but the Fed news dropped this afternoon. So
Yeah, the Fed's announced they're going to increase the discount rate from 0.75%.
yeah, and so that'll affect the rates. It won't be immediate, so it won't be today that those will go up, but over the next coming days that we'll start to see those rates go up even higher.
So if you're in the market for a house, will you just go in the bank and hurry up, give me a $300,000 loan?
I've talked to banks they're locking rates for 90 days right now. So
Okay,
so you could start shopping tomorrow, get pre-approved, get your rate locked, and you've got I think 90 days to
Find a
close.
house.
So you got some time. You got a couple of months to find a house and another month to close.
Gotcha.
Some of these banks are also doing year-long locks on new construction. So if you're going to build a house, you could lock that rate today. Most of those banks too will also offer a free float. So if for some reason the rates drop in August, you can take advantage of that too.
Of the new rate, the lower
Yes.
rate.
Yep.
But you don't think they're going to drop in August, do you?
No one thinks so. I listen to the bankers. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like they're gonna go down. I've heard people think that by the end of the year they're going to be at 9%, and I've heard people say by the end of the year where they think they're going to end up around that 6 mark. So
do you think? The interest rates. Let's just say in the middle. They'll say they go to 7%.
okay.
Is that going to hurt our market that bad, or where your investment? Let's say if you bought a house 2 years ago, all of a sudden you're going to see the values coming down.
I don't think so. They might not go up like you're not going to have 25% increases every year, but the goal of owning a house, the reason people do it in the first place is it fixes your costs. You know roughly what your house payment's going to be for the next 30 years, and you plan on staying there more than 2 or 3 years.
Right.
So,
let's stop there. You're talking about the fixed cost, but one of the things that would in fact impact a homeowner would be the
Insurance.
rising valuations.
Yeah,
from,
taxes
from
does
the
that.
appraisal district.
Yeah.
And I know realtors and real estate brokers don't want to talk about the
No,
appraisal
we
district.
talk about it all the time because we get calls on it all the time. But there's only so much we can do, and I've had to talk to the county about my tax bill. I've had to talk to the county on behalf of clients' tax bill. I've talked to the appraisal review board, and so I've tried to get as much just information as I can. What I've kind of come down to learn is that the county valuation, the
county appraisal district.
The appraisal district has to get those values within market value.
Right, 5% or whatever.
If they're not within that value and they get audited by the state could take over our county appraisals. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't want that to happen.
Or they can penalize our school districts.
Yeah, they could penalize. So so they have to get that value there. The value could be anything. What really matters is that tax rate. Mm-hmm. If your house is worth $200,000 per the county and you're paying $6,000 in taxes at that point, and if it goes up to $300,000 and that rate drops and you still pay $6,000, that value really doesn't matter. It's the rates that matter. So those are the three. Usually there's three entities that you pay taxes to: the county, the city, and the schools.
Okay, and the tax rates are going to be determined. Coming up pretty quick.
Your tax bill, like if you look on the county website today, You're going to see your new valuation, and you're going to see a number in that bottom right corner that's going to be the amount of taxes you have to pay at the end of the year. That number is the one that I think will be less by the time October comes and they finalize that number.
So you think that the school district, San Angelo ISD, the Tom Green County, the city of San Angelo are going to lower the tax rates?
Those entities go look at the tax rate in anywhere in that August to September timeframe prior to them finalizing taxes in October. October is when they send the bill to your mortgage company,
Right.
or they mail it to you. You're going to get another one that's going to be, hey, this is your bill. So they've got to come up with those rates, and it's a state law. They go and look at the rates every year. Typically, we see our rates at least in San Angelo, in our town, stay roughly the same. They've fluctuated a little bit here and there, but it just seems like there's going to be with all these valuation increases between apartment complexes, commercial buildings, and the single-family residences, that they're going to bring in so much more money this year that there's going to have to be some rate
Decreases.
decline.
I mean, the state caps the amount of revenue that you raise from the previous year to the current fiscal year. You're determining the tax rate at 3.5% increase.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to
It
lower
looks
the
like
rates
they're
to
going to
below
make
that.
quite a bit above that. So I
Yeah.
think we're going to see the rates decrease. We just don't know what they're going to go to. And again, that's a couple of months off. And I don't know. I just think that the county, the city, and the school districts don't do a good job at getting that out to the public, because there's a lot of people freaking out right now.
Yeah.
They see that valuation, they see that number, they're calculating their mortgage, they're thinking, what am I going to do? Where do I come up with an additional, I don't know, some of them, $300, $400, $500, $600 a month additional in just taxes. So,
Right. And most people have their taxes thrown into escrow, so they're paying
Correct.
it on a monthly basis. So you absolutely see that $200 to $600 increase.
And the bigger problem than that is you won't see it immediately, because the mortgage company doesn't know about any of this happening.
Right.
So they won't know until after they send your tax bill in that it comes up way short in your escrow account. And then they're going to slowly get around to notifying you next February that, oh yeah, you're deficient on your escrow account. We need a lump sum. And oh, by the way, your payment's going to go up $400 a month.
Right.
So
which back in the old days, that used to be a car payment.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
So that's what, like, you can plan ahead. You can start trying to set aside a little bit extra money a month, knowing they're going to get it at some point. But at the same time, that number I think will be less, and so we just don't know how much less.
So the tax rates will be less from
Yeah, I hope if you paid $5,000 last year in taxes, I hope that number's close to $5,000 this year, even with the new valuation. It might be $6,000. I don't know, but I think it might be showing 7 right now.
So what people need to be looking for, I think, and this is from the news perspective, is the revenue neutral tax rate. You need to find out what that is for the county, for your school district, whether you're in Cristoval, Wall, Grape
Yeah.
Creek, or San Angelo, and revenue neutral tax rate for the county overall in the city of San Angelo, and know what that is. And anything above that tax rate is a tax increase. You got to know that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, get to find out who your city councilman is, and your school board member, and your county commissioner, and contact them at their office. All their numbers are out there in public and email, and just ask them what they see coming. I don't know. I'm sure there's talks going on about this right now.
I don't want to be a Debbie Downer talking about the real estate market.
Let's talk about something fun. I don't know.
Let's talk about rentals.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, it's kind of tied in, because a renter is not protected by the homestead exemption.
Correct.
So even though your taxable, no, your tax, is it your tax?
They can increase your tax value 10%
10%
in a year.
Right, yeah.
If you live if it's your homestead.
Right.
So you're protected, even though the taxes went way up.
Yeah.
They can only get you
Your
a little.
valuation went up 30%. They can really only, your real appraised value that they're going to tax you on can only go up 10%.
Correct.
Right? But renters don't have that.
They go the whole way.
And you deal with renters all the time. What do you see for the rental market?
I see rental prices going up, because the landlords on these houses that some of them have, they're a landlord by default because they moved and just kept their houses, or they're in the business of doing that for a living, but their tax bills are going up a lot, and it could be a couple $100 a month. And so they are not going to lose the money. They're going to try
to recapture
pass it along to the renter.
But here's what I heard from the head appraiser, Tyler Johnson at the appraisal district. He said the high rents we currently have, according to the data, they use data groups to determine how to value an apartment complex, for example. It's based on the income model, not the compares models and stuff like that. So he said the rental rates that they're getting right now already have the valuations that we're giving them now baked in. So he says they shouldn't raise their rents.
They might not, but if you bought that complex and you had your numbers in mind that this is going to be my yearly fees for taxes and maintenance, and that number gets changed, you're going to want to raise the rents, and it might. And again, the apartment complexes might be totally different. Those rents they're already pretty high, but the houses in town, which have been high as well, I think they're going to try to pass along some of those increases.
Right. All right. So, in order to protect yourself and have a real fixed cost, it's always best to buy. And you think the market right now is pretty safe, even though we've gone through the turmoil.
Yeah, I think it's you still got to take your time and kind of weigh your options. It's not the best time to buy for everyone. You have to know you're going to be in San Angelo for a few years. You don't want to go out and buy a house today if there might be a job change next year. So you still want to. There's factors, and there's still people should rent, but at the same time, it's going to be a good time to buy because nothing in this country is getting cheaper. And so
that's for sure.
The cost on building these houses is getting more expensive.
And you're in the HBA, so you're kind of tuned in with the cost.
Yeah, I talk to builders all day, and they've been getting hammered with building costs. Lumber was in the news a lot. It took a huge increase. It's starting to come down a lot now. It's tumbling, they say, on some of these articles
So
I read.
like 2x4s are coming down.
2x4s are coming down. Plywood's coming down. But
stairway or the attic stairs?
There is no attic stairs in San Angelo.
We're out of
attic
chain
stairs.
problems.
Yes. So but the electrical products are still going up. Okay. And so the metal,
so like the 12-2
wire. Yeah, wire is expensive and it's going up. And I'm not sure if the supply chain is causing that, but I know the gas prices are going to start to affect it because there's only one way to get stuff to this town.
It's transported.
And
gas.
So it's going to get. I just don't see building materials coming down enough to offset, like just to tank all the new construction prices. So they're going to still be up there.
Right. And of course, they're always going to be there where the consumer can afford the houses too. I mean, they're not going to go build $1 million houses if they have no one that can afford them.
That's correct. So. Yeah, most of there's people always building like custom houses that they're just writing blank checks for to build. But the majority of the houses that get built in this town get built on, okay, we think this market, this area can, we can build 20 houses here that people can afford.
Yeah, so that's the spec model. All right, I'm gonna leave with a question that I never even hinted I was going to ask you.
Okay.
All right, so right now, to get excited about the real estate market and go to eranewland.com, what is the most interesting house on the market? I mean, does it have a good story or it looks good? The most interesting house on the market right now. You don't know?
No. I like the house that we have out at the lake on Sleepy Hollow for sale. It's set up
for the decor.
Oh no, that's another one. That's Country Club Road. The one on Sleepy Hollow has 3 living units within it.
Okay.
So there's like a main house.
Right.
And then if you had a couple of kids that had families, there's 2 identical apartments, one down and one up. So everyone could have their own.
Is it in the same building or is it 3 different buildings?
It's two different buildings covered by one roof. So you never have to walk like out into the rain to get to one another. So you could have, it's kind of 3 different houses all under one roof.
And it's on Sleepy Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow or Kings Road. It's kind of where it changes.
Right.
So it's got to.
It'd be a good Airbnb too, wouldn't it?
You could do that, but you got to follow those Airbnb rules with the city of San Angelo. So that's what I refer everyone to the city of San Angelo when it comes up to Airbnbs, because we have a lot of Airbnbs in this town right now,
right?
And not necessarily all at the lake. They're downtown. I know some Airbnbs over by the Air Force Base. There's some in Santa Rita. So they're happening a lot. But you have to go through city planning to make sure your house qualifies for an Airbnb.
And also give the neighbors a chance to complain and say, we don't want it.
You have to. I think you have to show up at. I don't.
You have to show up to the planning commission or whatever.
You have to show up to city council and state your case, I believe, because they do mail out letters to the neighbors.
Right.
I know one of the big requirements is you can't have another Airbnb within 500 feet.
Right.
I had someone ask me at the lake. They asked if they could, if hey, can someone do an Airbnb if I buy this house next door? I don't want to live next door to one.
Right.
And I told them, and I don't know if this was I thought it was a good idea. I said, go to the city and apply to be an Airbnb at your house.
And then you lock it up for 500 feet around you.
And you lock it up for and you have to pay like a yearly fee, but it locks it up to where you might not have an Airbnb next to you.
Good idea.
Good idea right there.
Using government bureaucracy
against
itself.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, Ryan Newland, thank you for giving some hope about the real estate market in these turbulent times.
All right. And we did not cover everything I even had on my list, but if people have real estate questions, just tell them to get in touch with us. So
ERANewland.com, Ryan Newland.
That's it.
All righty. Thank y'all. And we'll go right back to you guys over there, James.
Power, durability, comfort. This season, you could have it all with a bad boy in your garage.
Every bad boy is built from scratch in the heart of America. Built to outlast the lifetime. Bad boys are fully welded with heavy gauge steel construction, engineered for all-day comfort, powered by high horsepower engines, and deliver the perfect cut. This season is the season for a bad boy.
Mow with an attitude.
Come get your bad boy mower at Henderson Tractor and Implement on Christoval Road.
Welcome back. Just a quick reminder, don't forget to like us on Facebook, hit the bell on YouTube, and of course, catch up Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock on this regular news program streamed live on SanAngeloLive.com. We end the show today with an in-depth look at San Angelo's favorite band, the Community Band. This band will be one of the many performing acts at the 2022 San Angelo Live Star Spangled Banner Concert and Fireworks Show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
This is something that I say all the time. Music is magic, and it's all about passion. It's another language where you convey something, where you're saying something without words.
It's almost like you're able to, if you think of it in terms of craftsmanship, where somebody's making something, you're bringing out and expressing not only yourself like a artisan would bring something out. You're doing the same thing when you make music and make notes, and even the rhythm itself is the same in that regard.
My name is Rebecca Heinze. I'm a member of the San Angelo Community Band. I've been in it a little over 25 years. I play bassoon. I started years ago with my daughter when she was in high school here at Central. Well, I learned about it from some, just general friends and stuff, and I'm going, I need to get it back into this. And my daughter and the band director at Central let me use one of their bassoons until about 4 or 5 years ago when I got my own. I've been playing a long time. I was in the Central Band.
Hi, my name is Melinda Luna. I am in the San Angelo Community Band, and I play piccolo. I've been a part of this band for roughly 10 years, and it's fantastic. I played in a bunch of different bands. I've been in the military. I played music for the military. I've subbed for symphonies and stuff like that. But in this band, I just think it's a really, it's nice to have a bunch of the community, and we all get together at different levels. There's a lot of different playing levels. People who've only been playing a few years, or people who only played a few years in school. And then people who have gotten degrees and are professionals. So it's really nice to be in a situation where it's a lot of different talent levels, and we combine it and make some fantastic music.
My name is Martin Gwynn. I'm in the percussion section. I particularly play timpani. I've been with the band since their second season, which was in 1990. Some years it will be a lot of people, and then some years it will be very scanty. So it really just depends. But there is a core of very small individuals like me that have stuck around for a long, long time. There's still about 3 or 4 that are actually original members of the band that are still playing.
We do play some really hard stuff. We're playing American Sweet, Cakewalk, and it is not a cakewalk. It is really hard, and it's just, I think the thing that really helps is Dr. Kelly. She definitely gets everybody on the same page and make sure that everybody can play it together. I think she's probably the best uniting force in this band because she's so patient and professional and hilarious if you pay attention.
Well, I will say that we do get challenged with the music, so it's not something that always that you could just close your eyes and start playing. You do have to work with it, so I like that, being able to be challenged in order to play. So I love that aspect of it. I do like marches. I have a military background, and so that kind of goes with that. But I also like other type music. But this is the time of year for marches to be very popular, especially when you're talking about 4th of July, our Independence Day, and that kind of stuff. Kind of gives you a very patriotic feel to it. And a lot of our music that we do at this time of year is very patriotic, if you will. It is very important that that be part of our, not only our history, it's part of our history, but it should be part of the way we teach our younger generations, because it's where they're from. A lot of times people are looking at where did I come from, or what was my ancestors like? Well, this is part of that, and they shouldn't forget that we've come a long way as a nation or as a people to want to be free, and this is what a lot of the patriotic music is all about, is being free.
Anyone can play music, anyone can sing. You don't have to be good at it for it to be for it to be magic. It just has to be magic within you. So I don't know, I just think everybody in here that is actually brave enough to come out and put music together is definitely talented, whether or not they can play everything perfect. It's just the passion behind it that really stands out with musicians.
I want to encourage all the young people that are, just coming up in band and all this, that there's a life after band, just going out to a community band, so that you can help give everybody a touch of life. And I love music, and I think they will too.
Power, durability, comfort. This season you could have it all with a bad boy in your garage.
Every bad boy is built from scratch in the heart of America. Built to outlast the lifetime. Bad boys are fully welded with heavy gauge steel construction, engineered for all-day comfort, powered by high horsepower engines, and deliver the perfect cut. This season is the season for a bad boy.
Mow with an attitude.
Come get your bad boy mower at Henderson Tractor and Implement on Christoval Road.